This is the Above Average Podcast, and you are listening because you want an above average life. Alright guys, welcome back to the Above Average Podcast, the podcast where we talk to above average people about their above average lives. Now, my guest today has driven over 8 hours just to be in my delightful company. No, I'm just kidding. He's driven up for a coach event tomorrow, and I couldn't just let him rest in his hotel. I had to get him in and get him on the show, obviously. So he's an online fitness and mindset coach, offering clients a new way to look at their body and their goals and helping them develop a bulletproof self-belief. Please welcome the hunky Harvey Holt to the show. How are you, mate?
Hello. Nice to meet you.
How was the drive?
Oh, it was good, mate. It was good. As I've already said, this is take two behind the curtain, guys. It was good. It was really good. Like, surprisingly, nothing went wrong. There wasn't any travel, like any problems.
Well, you said it now. On the way back, you're going to have tyre problems and all sorts.
Oh, please don't say that.
Touch wood.
Lots of wood.
Listen, mate, I do have to apologise, though, because I did promise when you came on the show that I would buy you a Cinnabon. And I haven't.
It's not really a thing down where I'm from.
No, is it not?
Not really.
Have you not got one, like, is a couple hours out of the city, or?
Like, there's one in Bristol, but, like, I couldn't tell you where that is, like, in Bristol.
Yeah.
Maybe there's one in Birmingham.
Yeah, they're usually hidden away in the very limited stores, but we do have one in Newcastle now, and I promise I will send. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna send some down for you, mate. I'll send some down for you. Don't worry about it. But listen, mate. So take me back. You did something a little bit unusual in the way that you went to university, and then decided, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I give up and left. So tell me, what did you study, and then why the decision to leave?
Yeah, so I mean, the way that I started out with my like uni journey, it's very much like not on the cards for me, not something that interested me. Like, I was pushed to apply, didn't interest me, didn't go. But I had like my year out, like got pure, but it wasn't really that exciting. I literally just worked through it, and then went to kind of realised it's like, right, I probably need a little bit more tools to my belt if I'm going. I'm going to uni, or if I'm going to do anything along those lines. Now, I then applied, went the following September, so I had like that year out, and then went up to Manchester, which is a little way away from where I'm from. From Somerset, like it's about 4 hours drive roughly. Like, it's not a million miles, but it's certainly not.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trek.
Just gonna pop home and see me mum tonight. It's not that kind of vibe. Absolutely love the city. Absolutely love the city.
Yeah.
Always have done, always will. Like, I feel weirdly at home there. Like, I love a northern city. Like, I really like Newcastle as well. Like, like a northern city for me just hits a bit different.
Most of my listeners are from Newcastle, mate. So you're in their good books now. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. You're welcome. Anyway, so it's for me. Yeah, like I went to study human resource management. Obviously, being sat on a podcast like this is probably not to say that you can't have above average, high achieve, whatever, HR managers, but they're probably not going to be like on a thing like this. But
True.
Yeah. I think
unless they're a really standout HR manager. Yeah.
Absolutely. clearly. It's not my. Yeah, I did HR management, and I just got to a point where I really realised it just wasn't for me. And I was really shoehorning myself into a thing that I didn't particularly want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I never felt pressured to go to uni from like my parents or family or anything along those lines. It was kind of like, do what you will.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do it, Brill will support you. If not, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I was never, it was never anything that I was like particularly, interested in when I was little. I kind of just sort of like did it a knee jerk. Maybe I think a large part of it was I saw my friends go.
Yeah, that is a big part.
I want to go as well.
Yeah.
So
well, it's true though. You don't want to be left out in that kind of age.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It's that sort of thing, and like what I found really scary in that first couple of weeks is the almost like the savagery of like forming friends and like little friendship groups, and like you're hanging out with, you're befriending people that you would never befriend, and it's very much like a force of like either kind of, you know, dog eat dog kind of world like that. It was terrifying.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, like, oh, like you need to go and get in with these sort of people, or whatever. Like, it was really, like, I found it like really shocking.
Was it kind of like typical American jocks and cheerleaders kind of vibe, or
I definitely
like the nerds over there?
Definitely
and then
wasn't cool enough to be in the jocks.
you've got the hippies over there on the green, yeah.
But yeah, like, it was, yeah, people kind of fall in like a natural selection, but in other ways it just, like, it didn't. It was really weird how these kind of like sort of friendships built and got kind of put together. It was really interesting how it all unfolded. But like, it got probably 6 weeks in, and I kind of just was like, oh, this
really, get me out,
really isn't for me. That wasn't my initial response. I just didn't know what to do, and it took, really cool. Talk to me mum about it, and she was like you don't have to stay there. No one's forcing you. Like, if you want out, you can come home. It's not a problem. So that was quite a big revelation for me. I was like, nah, like, actually, do you know what? That's kind of almost the permission that I needed. To be like, nah, I'm out. But what that kind of taught me was, like, you don't have to follow the beaten path, and there is so much pressure for you to do it. There is, but I don't think there really is. Like, it's your life, like, it's your ownership to turn around and be like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And for some people, that can be such formative years of their lives. It was a very short period for me, but it was still very formative of, like, like, I kind of probably given it a bit of the big un before I'd gone, and having to come back.
I'm going to uni,
come back to like the leisure centre I was working at the time, like, with my tail between my legs, and just be like slowly.
That is the worry, though, isn't it?
A similar sort of like shift pattern that I had done beforehand, but I was actually really grateful that, in hindsight, that happened, because I could have been trying to hit a barn door with a banjo, to find a job for ages. I was actually really lucky that opportunity came up. I was able to move straight into, like, basically what I was doing before I went, and then forged out opportunities, because I'd already had my, like, fitness qualifications, so level 2, level 3 PT and all that stuff, CPDs, etc. So I had all of those kind of, like, tools to my belt, so I could.
You had something to fall back on almost a little bit.
Yeah, like, it was the reason that I went and got qualified in these sort of things was around. So basically, I wasn't having to stack shelves or pull pints in when I was at uni. Like, I could do work in the gym floor. Like, you're gonna get a little bit more than however much an hour. Like, if you were in Tesco's or like a bar or club or whatever, and then, like, a few PT clients, a couple of classes a week. Do you know what? Like, that would probably be enough to, like, balance it with work. Well, like, uni work and all that sort of stuff. That was my idea going into it, but it actually ended up kind of being the thing that I fell into as I left. And I was like, well, was made sense. It was like the next best step. So I was like, okay, well, cool. Let's pursue that. But it's being okay with making that decision and being aware that, people probably will say things, but actually, like, it's on you. Like, okay, well, what do you want? And in this case, it's like, well, what do I want? I was like, well, I don't want to be, this isn't working, and I don't ever see it working.
But that takes a lot of self reflection as well to get to that stage where you can look at it and go,
because I had the time to do it. Like, it was at a point, like, I would have been 20 at the time. Like, got to the point where absolutely no relationships with the guys that I was living with, like, in halls. They were all, like, just turned 18, straight from school, college, whatever. I'd kind of had that year out, had a little bit of life experience, and, like, my birthday's in November, so I'm always, like, at school or in education. I was always one of the oldest.
It sucks, man.
Oldest ones in the year, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, I was basically 20, and these kids and few of them had literally just turned 18.
Yeah.
So, like, they'd been on, like, a few nights out, and I'd been like, well, let's old and boring now.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I want to ask you is that, personally, obviously, from experiencing it both, because I never went to uni. I decided, I did college until I was 18. Left school at 16, went to college for 2 years. Decided I absolutely hated that subject as well, but I actually finished the course. I decided, I'm going to do something I'm gonna try and finish it, and then at least I've got something to fall back on if if I end up unemployed and homeless or whatever. You know what I mean? I can still focus on computers. But I'm curious, do you think that university is needed? Or do you think it's something where if you didn't go... Because obviously, like you said, the pressure to go to university was quite big, especially when you're young.
For some people, it was. Like, I felt more pressure from college to go than I did from at home.
Yeah.
Is it necessary? Depends. If you want to be a nurse or a doctor.
Yes. Yeah,
of course
I
it is,
agree, yeah.
obviously. There are other... Obviously, that's very, like, common examples. I'm sure there are other ones. Like, I think for some people, they probably need that formative experience, whether that's positively or negatively. Like, mine was a more negative experience, but it was very, like, formative for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't regret it. Like, I'm very much of the belief that, right, if I'm not grateful for what happened, if I'm not grateful, like, I'm in that area of, like, regret.
Yeah.
And regret, who wants to live their life full of regrets? I don't want that. Like, it was never going to serve me.
Yeah.
I don't regret going. Like, oh, would it have saved me a bit of hardship? Yeah. But actually, I needed that to, like, have my little, like, character.
Yeah.
Character. I see I've got, like, Doctor Strange up there. We've got these different things around like, Luke's office. And it's such, like, character arc. Like, the bad thing needed to happen.
Yeah,
Doctor Strange needed to lose his hands to find his other skills.
True,
and
yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. Like, it's finding that sort of thing to, like, you almost need that.
That's a perception, isn't it? That's how you've chosen to perceive it. Because a lot of people could probably look at that and go, well, I wasted a lot of time. But it's like, well, no, I used that time to find myself.
There is still a large amount of money lingering over my head from 8 weeks.
Student debts, yeah.
8 weeks. Basically, it worked out as like $1,000 a week.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Very expensive couple of weeks in my life.
Yeah.
And I wasn't having fun. So... yeah, so that was quite an interesting one, but again, it's one of those things of like, right, okay, you know, get back to it. And like, I'm very big into, like, personal development, as yourself, like, and I don't think, like, I'm actually surprised, like, how well I kind of coped with it, bearing in that I hadn't really started my journey yet.
Yeah, it sounds like you just went, this isn't for me, Mum, what do you think? Whatever you want. Okay, cool. I'm off. You know, that's kind of how it sounds.
Can I come home?
Yeah. But it's nice. It's nice that you've got the support, though, because I think a lot of parents will push their kids to do things like that. That you know, if you don't go to university, you're never going to become anything. It's like, apparently in America, I heard somewhere there's some university that's teaching entrepreneurship courses.
I think that no.
I know. I haven't looked at it, but this is what I heard, right? And I'm just like, surely the whole point of being an entrepreneur is you don't go to university to be taught how to be an entrepreneur, because that just seems to me like it defeats the point. But it's
a
like,
little bit,
yeah. But it's like a lot of my friends, you know, like went to university, and I've got nothing. I don't have anything against university for anyone listening. I think it's great if you know what you want to specialize in. That's great. But I think a lot of people, they go through their entire, their teens.
I have to.
Yeah.
Not like I want to or I get to.
Yeah, but a lot of
some people work really, really hard. Like,
well, yeah.
To go from that to, like, go from, like, potentially really struggling, not having the grades, to getting staff, going off and being a doctor or a nurse, or
I think you need the grades first.
It's then they go back and redo the work, do their maths or their English or whatever they need to do to then go and take that step into being, living the life that they want to live.
Yeah. So sorry, go on.
So no, I was gonna say, like, again, it's almost like if the shoe fits, like, for some people it is okay, it's required.
Yeah.
Like doctor, nurse example. Others, it isn't. Like, I realised that, do you know what, HR management's probably not for me. Like, who knows? I might go full circle and be HR.
Yeah, we'll see you in 4 years when you're HR manager.
Like, hey guys, I was wrong. And again, if that's the way that it all pans out, then I'm willing to be wrong.
Yeah.
But like, it was the right decision. But then it's to have that, like, trickle down effect of, like, okay, well, I wouldn't be sat here if I'd gone. Probably wouldn't have be sat here or be in Shields today, like, for not doing that.
Yeah, and you might not even be as happy, which is the main thing.
Yeah, who knows? It's one of those ones. In again,
it's a bunch of what ifs, mate.
What ifs?
It's a bunch of what ifs. You can't live your life on what ifs.
No, absolutely. But I'm like, again, am I sitting here being like, I regret dropping out?
No.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, no way.
100%, man. So what happened after you left? I know you bounced around from gym to gym sort of thing. So what sort of happened in the period when you left?
Like, so I kind of sort of came back down, bumped back down, and I basically went straight back into the job that I had been doing in the leisure centre that I'd been working in, which was just kind of manning the gym, teaching a couple of exercise classes. That was kind of it. Kind of had a conversation with them. I was like, right, is this going to be something we can continue into the new year?
Yeah.
And because it was around sort of Christmas time, and I was like, I really want to keep going. I want to move into like I'd like to do this like basically full time.
Yeah.
And they said no. I was on there, and I was like, okay, cool, cool. So they're like, you can have some, but it's not everything. You won't have everything.
Yeah.
So I kind of then was like, oh, right, okay, who can I have conversations with? And I spoke to one of the old managers that I'd worked with at that leisure centre who was working for a different organisation. Went in there. Okay, brilliant. Like, oh, brilliant. Could do so. Yeah, we need to do someone to do like a spin class and a kettlebells class here and a boot camp and a whatever here.
Yeah.
So she was really influential in terms of like kind of like getting that foot in the door there.
Yeah.
It was something. And then again, I kind of spoke to one of my mates, and he was like, oh, like there's potential for like a PT role in the Anytime Fitness that he worked into. Went there. In hindsight, I think I begged for it. I think
well,
I begged.
like, on your knees, or we just
Not quite. That would probably give off a slight wrong impression.
Yeah, maybe.
But I begged for it. I was like, mate, like, I need this, like, and I was like, what kind of like whatever it takes, and that's kind of something I'm realizing now in my life. That's what over 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Is there have been like just there are moments, and they usually come out over a bit of a hardship. Something's gone a bit wrong. And it's just whatever it takes, this kind of whatever it takes mindset. And it worked because it got me that foot into the door, gave me the foot into the fitness industry. And I really kind of started to do that, to make that work, which is pretty cool. Kind of build up make some mistakes, start getting clients, start getting some results, understanding what it is, learned a lot of things, like whether that was about people, whether it's about the body, whether it's about training as a whole, that was kind of my initial starting point. It then kind of developed, built up my confidence, like, oh, actually I can do this. A lot of like the imposter syndrome at the start, and like, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve to be here, blah 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 blah, all of this kind of stuff, which is something we can go into. Like, it's over time, it's kind of I built up that confidence, and then post lockdown, I was like, went back for about a month, and I was like, I got this. This guys.
Not many people emerge from lockdown with that much confidence.
Billy big balls over here, and it all kind of blew up in my face.
Oh, do tell.
So I mean, I went and I thought I knew loads about business, loads about marketing, and I was like, I can make this work.
Yeah, I've seen Grant Cardone's videos. I know how it is,
literally. Yeah, seen something about like 10x everything.
I was just gonna say the 10x rule. Yeah,
10x rule. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so like that sort of started on my personal development journey. Probably a little bit too much confidence for my own good. And one thing kind of led to another. When I left, went out on my own. I was renting space in a BJJ gym, which is pretty cool. But again, it was just not the footfall.
Yeah.
And again, this is in like lockdown time, so where you were going in and out, shaking it all about, doing the hokey cokey with, people's lives.
That's a great way to put it. That should have been the NHS slogan. Yeah. Don't play the hokey cokey with people's lives, guys. Wear a mask.
You put the lockdown in, lockdown out.
That's a TikTok clip right there. That is brilliant.
So I never managed to get any momentum with it. Like, part of that was me. part of that, just not having the skills, the knowledge, the mental resilience to just kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
And the other part of it was like, probably like people would just like freeze. And as soon as they were like, oh, case is on the right, people just froze. And if you were having these sort of conversations, they just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Dead. Like they weren't going to risk it. So, we're just going to go back and lockdown again. There's no point in doing it. Or then it all kind of goes a bit Pete Tong, and then it was like, oh, but you can meet people, but you have to meet them outside. And
if you can't work, go to work. If you can't work, go to all that sort of stuff.
That kind of thing. But what was actually quite like what I found was really interesting with that was like it just kind of gave me, it actually probably distorted, because that was when I was, obviously you've got like unconscious incompetencies, and then you're aware of like how much you don't know. That was probably in my stage. I was in that stage of like I knew how much I didn't know.
Okay.
I'm a bit in above my head, a bit too proud, a bit too stubborn to kind of be like, okay, maybe I need to whack this thing back in reverse.
Yeah.
I need to make a decision, so it needs to change. Didn't just kind of just like held on really, really tight, and just like, you know what, if I just, you know, stay here and stay really still, maybe it will just think that I'm not really here, and it will all pass me by. But again, we come out the other side of that, and I just didn't have it take off in the way that I wanted to.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I kind of had the opportunity from Pure Gym, who I'm with now, like they kind of opened up one in the local area. My manager, she slid in the DMs, and it was on New Year's Eve. And
shooting a shot, yeah.
New Year's Eve. She said, and I looked at it, I just laughed. I was like, nah, no way. Like against like the trying to be all this cool, like against, you know, big companies trying to ruin it and all of this kind of nonsense.
People do have beef with Pure Gym though, don't they?
They do. Like, but like you know what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
You know what you're signing up for. Like in anything. Like just it doesn't take a genius to work it out. Like you understand. Like, but what I actually found out was when I did have my, like after this sort of things going wrong, and I sort of lent him to working with different like, mentors like Paul or whoever, you soon start to learn that it's actually like, okay, this is what's kind of playing out in front of me. This is the opportunity.
Yeah.
So
that light bulb moment kind of one.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, it's just an opportunity. Go for it. Like I'm gonna go and say right, and then you have to make a bit of a. So when you start, you basically have to put together a proposal of like how you're gonna do it. And I was like,
well, like how you're gonna run clients and stuff like that.
How are you gonna run a business?
Okay.
I only know what I did, and I was like basically this. Explain how I wanted to do it, what made it different, how I was going to create leads, how I was going to close the sales, how I was going to keep it ticking. Yeah. And I just kind of went, there it is.
And they were like, cool. Nice. Do you know what? It's weird that you say that, because from what I know about Pure Gym, I can imagine they've never seen people that just do that and just have that ready. So I bet you were probably like that 1% of Pure Gym trainers that are like on it, like shit hot trainers. I
just went, this was going to happen. Do you like it? Sound cool. Let's go. And here we are 2 years later.
Class, man.
Pretty much. No, just after. Like I was going to say, it's probably about it's well over two years now, but like that's kind of what happened. Did this big proposal online, and I was like, look, there's this. Used my little stand-up desk, had like the little windy handles.
Nice.
Stood there, presented. I walked in with a bit of the old swagger. And that was that.
Cool.
And here we are today.
On podcasts. Yeah.
Podcasts.
Nice, man. So I saw one post that you made a video, actually. You talked about losing 20 kilograms in 4 months.
Yeah.
Which is quite a dramatic, change.
Oh, my one? Yeah. Okay,
your video, bro.
Yeah, Sorry, I'm with you now.
Yeah. You did do this, right? Did I do this?
Again, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
But I'm just curious, like, how did you do that dramatic weight loss, and do you recommend what you did for that weight loss?
No, absolutely not.
Why? Tell me why.
So this is when I first started personal training, and I was like, I looked at myself and I saw, sometimes all it takes is one photo, one comment. Mine was a photo that the gym had posted online, and I was like, wow, okay, that's probably
shit
an
needs to
alarm bell.
change. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I went into that, and so I took the whole like move more, eat less, calorie deficit. Like I just stuck myself 2,000 calories a day, and it was like 2,000 calories of whatever I wanted. Mm-hmm. So I was eating, like if I had like a Ben and Jerry's, about 1,000 calories, about 1,200 calories, whatever. Bro, cool, 800 for the rest of the day. Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There was no real consideration into the quality of that nutrition.
Yeah.
There was no real consideration into the how I
How you felt.
how I felt
internally,
really.
yeah.
There was no consideration over protein. Barely touched the gym. It was just literally, I moved a bit more and I ate less.
Mm-hmm. Which is quite generic advice.
It is very generic advice, and I took it to the letter.
Yeah.
There was no real strategy to it. It was just kind of like, here's the. Again, it was just sort of, I went and did it.
Yeah.
And yeah, did I lose weight? Did I lose fat? Whatever. Yeah, I did. But that then has caused other problems down the line. I look back at like photos of then, and it's just skinny.
Yeah.
Like, and I thought losing all that weight was going to solve all the problems that I had in my life. The only thing I look back in hindsight, and I'm like, all it did was made me a bit of a knob. Like, just because
can't argue with that.
Yeah, literally, it was just fake confidence.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really I thought, oh, I should feel confident, so I'm just gonna kind of act confident, but it was actually just like acting like an idiot and just not being very nice.
Yeah.
Again, mix that in with, I was probably about 20 at the time, so yeah, literally after dropping out of uni.
Yeah.
So I was about 20, 21. Billy Big Balls. Oh yeah.
I know all about weight loss. Yeah.
Yeah, all of this kind of thing. But all it did, it just turned me into a bit of an idiot, and it never solved the problem because it never stayed. And I didn't really like what I saw in the mirror because I'd gone from being the big guy to the skinny guy. There was never an in between.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like, it took my top off, and I was like, I still don't feel confidence. I don't look, and I'm like, oh yeah, wow. So yeah, that's kind of that's how I got to there, and it's only been over the preceding few years where I was like, actually, like, it does take a little bit more than that. You do need sure, yeah, you can just eat less, move more. You can do your 10,000 steps a day, because then I got a bit technical. I got an Apple Watch.
Oh shit!
My steps and everything. Then
close them rings.
It was close them rings, but putting the rings on. So people are like, I closed my rings today, and I was like, okay, what's your move ring? 250. Oh yeah. So you got out of bed.
Yeah. Well done.
And then walked to the toilet more than once today. Sound.
At least that proves they're drinking water. At least that proves they're drinking water, you know?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those ones. So, like, again, I'm like, just set yourself a bit of a big target. Like, I have 1,000. I don't hit it every single day. But, hey, look, it's just aiming for something.
Yeah, right? It's better than having no goal. Yeah.
Exactly. So, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Is what it is. But, like, what I found was, over preceding years is actually like the emphasis on training and the quality of nutrition and how do you actually feel?
Which is a big one.
It's all very well. It's all very, like, you can be smashing a Chinese a day or a Domino's a day or whatever. No one sits and eats Domino's and the next day or a few hours later they're like, do you know what? I feel fab.
Yeah.
or really greasy Chinese, or like greasy horrible fish and chips, or whatever you decide that you're going to go for. Does that mean that you should never have it? No, it doesn't. But what it means is like is that going to allow you to feel how you want to feel?
Yeah.
Which is something really easy to get disillusioned with.
Yeah, 100%.
Is sometimes you forget how you want to feel, and you get caught up in how you don't want to feel, how rubbish you feel.
Yeah.
Which only amplifies it to make it bigger, prevalent thing in your head. Again, so like that coincided with the start of my personal development journey, starting to listen to podcasts that, you know, actually kind of like inspired me or educated me in a way that was like, oh, okay, brilliant. So like, okay, I could do this, this, and this. I could try this thing. I could try that thing. And then you, over the time, you learn, actually, it's not just a singular approach. And like, that's kind of where, like, where I'm at now with my business, with what I do. It's almost a challenge you have, is people just want to come in and do, oh yeah, if I just go to the gym a few times, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, trust me, from someone who's been there, it isn't just, I'm just going to do this little thing.
Yeah.
In some people's cases, it might be, I'm already in a pretty good place, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do, you know, lean into my training, have a little bit more structure to it, and I'll be tickety-boo. Yeah. That's in very few cases, but working with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people over multiple years, whether that is, you know, actual proper like face-to-face or online, or even if it's just chats in, you know, Facebook or Instagram messages, like you learn a lot. You learn a lot about people, and it's the real struggle that I have is this. It's not just one singular thing. Mm-hmm. Like there's so many other things that you need to look at, that you need to consider, rather than just one thing. Yeah,
absolutely agree. I think the truth is, for anyone listening, every diet works, but which one's sustainable and which one can you stick to?
Absolutely. And that's going to be different for you or whatever. And like I've had, you see people, oh, I did this because my mum did it, or my auntie Janice did it, or whatever. And do you know what? That's great that it worked for them. Yeah. But it's not about, there's a little bit more to it than that. You can't just do the one, like you need to find out what, because you're not, like you might be sat here as, you know, like a 26-year-old male, for example, and just because, you know, your auntie Janice did it, who's 56, right? And obviously, like a woman going to be very different. Like she might be like, oh, well, I did it through Weight Watchers and step aerobics. Okay, are you going to want to put on your leotard there and then we'll sit around in a circle and
as a 26-year-old man wearing a pink leotard? I
mean, if it is, go for it.
I mean, if that floats, if that tickles your pickle,
absolutely. Sure. Like if that's for you, that's absolutely fine. But then it's actually being realistic with yourself, like, because you're only making your process longer. It's actually going in and looking internally of like, right, what do I actually want to do here? Mm-hmm. Like, what am I willing to do? Like, that's a great question to ask yourself. What am I willing to do? What can I actually fit into my life? Like, I have people with like very young children, and I've worked with people with who've literally come back months after having children. And they're just like, oh, like just on edge, stress, time, all those sort of pressures.
Well, if you've got
absolutely
a kid,
fine. So he's coming to the gym 6 times a week for 3 hours on the cards.
Absolutely not. 100%. When I first started training as well, like I was hard gainer, skinny, you know, if you hugged me, you got a paper cut kind of vibe, right? And one of the things, I can't remember where I saw it. It was ridiculous. It was like someone having steak and eggs and stuff for breakfast, right? And I'm like, I think when I started training, I was in my last year of college. And I'm like getting up before college with my George Foreman grill, cooking a steak with 2 eggs and a pack of microwave veg. And I was literally sat at my table. I had to sit at my table and I had to stare at my, I think I had an iPod at the time, stare at my iPod to watch, you know, YouTube, because I couldn't, like if I had focused on the food, I couldn't do it. I would retch through it. I would gag through it. Because, I mean, some people don't even have breakfast in the morning because they're not hungry. Imagine trying to wolf down a steak, eggs and veg every morning. But I did it. But it's not sustainable in the slightest. It didn't fit my life.
Like, I've got to the point now whether you're doing this sort of thing for like well over 5 years now, and I just get to the point of like someone tells me that I've been doing this, and I was like, and how's that worked out for you? How's that worked out? Again, if you said that, if you come to me and said that, I'm like, well, how's that worked out for you?
Yeah.
Or and again, it's at that point where you have to kind of like, it's almost like you've got to be a little bit, heavy-handed with it, just to almost prove the point of like, you do not have to live your life this way.
Yeah.
This isn't about the struggle bus. Like, yeah, will things be plain sailing all of the time? No. But do we need to make them any harder than necessary? No. Because trust me, even the most well-trained, the person that's, on it all of the time or whatever, like they still find times where, do you know what? I can't be asked to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Like you can tell yourself that you don't. If you think, oh no, that's not me. Sure, tell yourself. But the next time that happens, you're on the struggle bus. Maybe you're a bit run down. Maybe you're a little bit ill. I'm so glad you sat me this side because I've got like a gland that's swollen in my neck.
All right.
I've got this fat old lump.
I can't actually see. For anyone listening and not watching, I can't see this.
It's there. Like I was like. The day I was like, oh, what's this?
Let's swap sides. Yeah.
Growing another head. And imagine that there'd be two
Harveys
to my mouth talking. Ooh, I just annoy myself. I think that's all that happens.
Maybe like the Chuckle Brothers.
Yeah. To me, to you. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Right.
Sorry, listeners. I'm just like give you a little shoulder there. Yeah. So like it's almost at a point of like the longer you go through this kind of thing is that, but like it's also giving yourself the ability to make the mistakes, to have that trial and error period.
Yeah.
Like you didn't know any better at the time, for example.
Yeah, I just read it online or some sort and just Men's Health or some shit.
Oh mate, it's because you read it online doesn't mean...
Oh, how he's rubbing his eyes like he's fucking sick of hearing that. Yeah.
Yeah, just because you read it online doesn't make it mean it makes sense. Even what I can't remember if it was on camera or not, but you were saying about that uni in America who taught us the entrepreneurship. And also we hear what we read one article, we see an Instagram post, we see a 30-second TikTok clip, and that's kosher. That is absolutely 100% true.
Yeah. We've
not put that in an echo chamber. We've not like kind of spun it in a way that it sounds good. It genuinely like it doesn't, like just because it's you've heard it once doesn't mean that it's true. And we're all guilty of it, and I annoy myself when I do it. But I'm like, well, actually, like if I see it 2 or 3 times, I'll be more inclined to believe it, or I'll go and do my research about it. And give it a little Google or Wikipedia and look at, okay, well, what does that actually mean? Is it a 10-second podcast clip? Because I bet if you went over today with a fine tooth comb, you could find some things that sound really controversial, but you listen to the 10-second clip and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe he said that.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Or oh, that means he said that, so this means that. No.
But there's this hour and a half context that you are completely missing.
And it might not even be that. It might be like so many podcasts, like Stephen Bartlett, High Performance, all of these like big podcasts, Chris Williamson, right? Like they put out 15-minute clips or 10-minute clips, 7-minute clips, whatever, like which will explain that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you hear these like, and yes, you might hear these little golden nuggets, and I do love hearing these little things that say like Bartlett or Chris Williamson says, and it's oh, that's absolutely perfect. Or you see like a legend of their sport, or someone be like, just drop this little thing, or a little business person go, oh my god, mic drop moment, 20 seconds long, brilliant, oh great, sick, repost, put it on your story, sick, great. But then there is also those ones where people do get themselves in such hot water. And you're like, oh my god, I can't believe you said that. About 10 seconds. Oh. And then it's potentially like not career ruining, but again, they're in hot water. They've got stuff
semantics to argue and stuff.
The back pedal it, and all it takes is, oh, okay, well, here is the timestamp.
Yeah.
Let the man finish himself.
Well, it's just like if you
sentence.
hear something and you want to take action on it, research it first. The funny thing is, me and Luke put out a video the other day, and it was like,
I'm loving your and Luke's content at the moment.
Thanks, man.
I see the videos like pop up on like TikTok.
Are you talking about the character ones as well, where he's got like wigs and
shit? Hilarious.
You should see us filming those, man. It's the funniest thing. It's like obviously we have to do one character then another, and it's just like there's so much gets cut out of those.
Luke gets me every time he goes, eee!
Yeah,
because that's such a Shields thing as well.
Yeah, it's such a northern thing.
And I find it really funny. And where I've like, I say like, obviously with coming up here a lot, like I spend a lot of time in like the Midlands. Sometimes people talking, and it's not even what they say; it's just the way they say it, and the mannerisms or the phrases. Like if I'm walking out in the street and in the Midlands, and someone calls someone else "bab," I find it really funny, and I don't really. I just because I'm like, I say that sometimes. Like I was saying to you the other day on the phone, like I'm an accent chameleon.
Yeah.
Like get this time tomorrow, I'd be
I'm man.
What you saying, man? How are you? And walking around with Greg's in one hand and like a
Newcastle brown ale in the other.
Yeah, absolutely. How are you? Black and white stripes on, man. What you saying? I'd be red and white round here, wouldn't it? But
no,
no,
I don't know. No, I know. Yeah, no. I think it is black and white around here. A little bit further down, you go to Sunderland, so you're not too far. But yeah. We'll cut that bit out. It's fine. We'll cut that.
Carrot and blue for South Shields, obviously. God, how are you, lads? Yeah, go in the Midlands for a little bit, or start talking to people in the Midlands. I start picking it up, and I'll tell you. Should we tell the date story that I told you the other day?
Yeah, you know what? Go for it. Yeah,
so there was a time, and this was yonks ago, and yonks ago, like, and it was probably like one of the first ever dates that I'd been on, right? Mm-hmm. And we're walking around like the local park of like a. Must have been like 3:00 in the afternoon or whatever, wandering around, and I must have been at college at the time, right? Walking around, and this girl was Irish, lovely accent, and I'd never realised that I'd picked up on accents before, and she said the word "thank you" in an Irish accent, and obviously that sounds more like thank you. And I was like, okay, I'm not a brilliant Irish accent, so I do apologise. And we were walking through, and they opened this gate. She held it open for me, and then I went, "Oh, thanks." And she sort of looked round and gave me this death stare, and I'm like proper, like, oh no, like I've ruined this. This has all gone Pete. I'm like, oh no, I've ruined it. And yeah, and that was it. It was the first time I realised. And I was like, oh my god, and I was proper like beat myself up about it, and like she just
no date too. No,
it wasn't. Didn't find it very funny.
No, that's a shame. You dodged the bullet, mate. To be fair, she sounds like a very boring person.
Oh, okay,
just throwing that out there. No, if you can't handle a bit of rinsing on your accent,
absolutely. And but the thing was, it wasn't even intentional. Like I was trying to just be nice.
Yeah.
And then it just slipped out, and I'm like, ugh. Oh no, I'm very sorry. And it was kind of like that unspoken thing, elephant in the room. Like
it just sucks there's like a vacuum.
Yeah, in a lift, like just
just pretend that didn't happen. Yeah.
Let's just keep going. And very awkward conversation after that. So
yeah. I would say you dodged a bullet though, mate, but that's fine. So, mate, you mentioned something to me about white knuckle syndrome. You call it, right?
White knuckle syndrome.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there is another name for it, but it's the way that I explain it.
Yeah. So explain to us what that is.
So white knuckle syndrome is in those situations in life, whether that's relationships, whether that's at work, or a thought or a belief that you have, that you hold on to. And I've mentioned it a few times. Like circumstances where I would say I've had white knuckle syndrome. It isn't actually like a syndrome. It just sounds a bit cooler if you say syndrome, right?
Yeah.
It's from where you hold on. And obviously, if you're like holding onto a bar in the gym or,
roller coaster thing.
Bicycle. Yeah. Whatever. You get white knuckles from where you're holding on so tight.
Yeah.
Now, you look down and you just see, white knuckles. Why? Because you're holding on so tight. But it doesn't give... When we hold... Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Because being stubborn, holding on to that kind of idea, that thought, whether that's like your values or whatever, that's actually probably a really good thing in some cases. Yeah. But like anything, it's a double-edged sword. There is a point where that becomes probably quite damaging to to you, to like your goal that you're pursuing of like, I'm only believe this singular thing. I'm not willing to entertain the other ideas. I'm not willing to listen to it. And you just hold on tight. Now, sometimes it is just, persevere. Let it be, let the wind, let the weather batter you.
Let the cards fall where they may.
Absolutely. But then other times it's actually like, it gets to a point where you're holding on so tight for so long that it just becomes stale, and it's just not working. And
it's causing you more pain to hold on than it is to just let it go.
To let go. And you actually sometimes realise, you let go and you fall. It's not as far as you thought, but you've fallen into a place where, okay, well, let's entertain this idea. It doesn't mean that you have to fundamentally change yourself as a person, but it's entertain that idea, entertain that thought.
Yeah.
You might think, nah, actually, no, it's not for me. But other times, that could be the breakthrough that you're looking for. It could be the thing that actually, if I do you remember Kaplunk?
Yes. Yeah.
Pull the pin.
I haven't played that for donkeys. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's that one with the little monkeys with the curly tails, and you hang all like the little monkeys on them.
Oh, what was that called?
It's the same principle.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But you pull it out and the little monkeys fall out the bottom. That's
yeah.
the one we used to have at my house. But like Kaplunk, same idea. Maybe that's the thing that you need to pull out for the like the marbles or whatever to start falling out the bottom. And then you see, actually, if I make a change, if I entertain that idea, or if I do that thing again, it gets me the same response. So you do it again.
Yeah.
And you do it again. And you do it again. And then very differently, where you were thinking everything's really dry, really stale, just, this isn't working anymore. Actually, once you've pulled out a few of these straws, you're in such a different place. Like, you have a steady stream of whatever the thing is. Now, I know I'm quite like vulnerable, like not vulnerable, quite vague with my like kind of explanation, but like it's because I like to. This is so applicable to so many different things.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
the Kaplunk analogy is completely unique. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't know. Sometimes I just come up with these sort of things.
It's a good one.
Like,
yeah.
Wow.
I'm stealing it.
Makes perfect sense
I'm
to
stealing
me.
it. This is going to get brought up again.
As long as you credit me every single time, right?
Harvey Holt, TM.
Yeah, absolutely. It's trademark now. You can come for me, Kaplunk. Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of them ones.
Yeah.
It's you need to like. It's those sort of things, and I can see. And it's like, over time, this is kind of what I've kind of realised more recently. There's actually I'm starting to notice like a physiological, not change, but when I'm starting to feel that kind of like almost like angsty in my throat, like angry, but like really frustrated, tired, like that sort of apathy, fed up kind of feeling.
Tight, wound up.
Yeah, in my chest, and like I was sort of scrunched up face. Like at that moment is the time to Kaplunk. It's the time to pull a straw, entertain an idea. Right, what's the worst that's going to happen?
It can't get any worse than it currently feels. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Risk it.
But
What's the worst thing that could happen?
But like you said, the more you pull those things, the more you have a reference experience of I didn't die. No one died. No one got mad at me. Do you know what I mean? I didn't cause world disaster. Yeah, exactly. And it's like the more reference experiences that you pull from.
Still got enough teeth in my head. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like you look at people who are further ahead in success than you, and you think, how did they get that?
Think about that, like a little bit of homework for the listeners or the watchers on YouTube or on online. Like, think about a time that happened in your life. Like, maybe it's on like a fitness or personal development journey. Maybe it's in a relationship. Maybe it's in your career. Maybe it's in what's next. Like, everything feels so tight and so stale and horrible. And you pull the thing out. It's a conversation. It just starts as a conversation. Do you know what? It could be as simple as like Googling, which is massively underrated. So people are like, Google it. Like actually Google it. Okay,
Yeah.
What would that look like? What does that look like? What would that salary be? Is actually a job? Like, is that going? Like, if you really need to, how do you break up with partner? Like, or how do you have a difficult conversation with X person?
Yeah. Quick Google search away.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm sure there's WikiHow if you're really stuck.
But
But
there's
again,
a WikiHow on everything, bro.
absolutely. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's almost like if there's one take home for like a listener today, I want it to be that is to white knuckle when you think of this white knuckle syndrome, you're holding on too tight. What is the first thing you can kaplunk? What's the first kind of straw that you can pull and be like, okay, it's gonna start to move now. Kind of dance a different dance, move a different move.
What can you kaplunk?
If you've been moving right, move left. If you've been taking a step forward, take a step back. Which is like, again, that's cool. Sometimes you need to do that.
Yeah, agreed.
I did it early. I overshot a junction. No, I came off too early. That was it. I came off too early. So anyone who like travels around like the north of England, right? Leeds Skeleton Services.
Okay.
Unreal. It's got a Nando's in.
Oh, okay. That's that one, right?
Nando's
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nando's Services.
Everyone knows the Nando's one. Maybe not by name, but everyone knows
Nando's,
this one with the
Leeds
Nando's.
Skeleton. Learn it, right? I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to service stations, right? Because I clearly have nothing better to do in my life. And I want to stop there because that's class services. So I was driving along, and it like says like, oh, in half a mile.
Yeah.
And I just was like, oh, it'll be the next exit. So I turned off. I drive up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why is it? Doesn't seem to be it. Surely, right? If you put a service station on like a flyover on a junction on the motorway, you'd
It's the
say
next one. Yeah.
services, and I'm sure it's over this way. And I started to drive towards Pontefract, which is not this direction; it's in a different direction. So I was like, turn around, went round the, you go round the
Round-
flyover.
yeah.
Twice. Brilliant. Oh, hi everyone, still here. And then went back on, and I drove down the slip road, pulled onto the motorway, and then it's services this way.
Like, fuck.
And again, I could have gone back to it, but I was like, no, I'm going to go a bit further. I'm going to go to Weatherby, and I know it's only like an hour.
Weatherby's okay.
It's okay.
Doesn't have a Nando's, but it's okay.
Yeah, I get upset, right, when service stations. This is again elite service station chat here, right?
Okay.
I don't like it when service stations just on one side of the motorway. I like it when it's just a different one.
Okay.
Little bridge don't mind that,
I know what you mean.
but I'm like, I want a northbound or a southbound, an eastbound or a westbound. I just want one side,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh well, I would stop. Because I do a lot of motorway driving. I'd stop on that side, but I wouldn't stop on that side. Mm-hmm. Like, southbound, rubbish. But northbound,
This is
sign me
This
up.
is first world problems.
Absolutely.
First world problems.
And it really winds me up a lot more than it should. It really does. Right. But it's even like, oh, no, but the next toilet's a nice toilet. Nicer toilets than the next one.
Someone
I've
travels a
genuinely done
lot.
that before.
Harvey travels a lot.
Yeah, I've held on for 20 minutes to go to the next services because I know I'm going to have a nicer wee at the other end.
Piss in a bottle, bro. Just pull over, piss in a bottle.
No.
Dude, we've all got to be.
I don't like the sound of that.
Maybe it's just because you're from further down south. Up north, we piss in bottles.
Okay.
We're not fussy.
Okay.
No.
Like, I do enjoy. Like I said, I do. Sorry. I do enjoy being up here, but there are a few things where I'm like, actually, I'm going to stick to my roots.
Stick to my roots.
Stick to my roots. If not doing that.
Yeah. Well, mate, you mentioned to me that you don't think people are lazy, just unaligned, and I really like that term. So, what do you mean by that?
So, like, there's been times in your life, like, it's one of those ones of like, what's motivate, like, that lazy people feel lazy and unmotivated, but I think they feel late. I think it's about the wrong things. Again, it's trying to. It's like we said earlier. It's if you don't go for a run now, you're lazy. I want to do it.
Shit, guess I'm lazy then. Yeah.
I guess I'm lazy then.
Yeah.
It's fine by me. But like, I don't enjoy that. That's not something that there is any draw towards me. Now, in life, you are going to have to do some things that you don't want to do.
True.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
'cause that might
That's
be
life.
you don't fancy doing it on that given occasion, or you don't want to do it like just because whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, especially at this time of year, there's people are tired.
It's cold.
Cold,
It's wet. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is a matter of suck it up, princess. Let's go and crack on with it.
Yeah.
Other times it is I don't want to. Like, even if the stars align perfectly, I'll do it when this, when that. You set all the conditions up.
Yeah.
And you're presented with that time where, oh no, well, I can't go for a run like that. It's just,
The excuses start to come. Yeah.
It comes up, but you're forcing yourself to do something that you actually have no interest in doing.
Yeah.
And like, let's say that someone comes to me and I'm like, even if it's a friend, and they're like, I want to lose some weight, so I'm just gonna start running. I even have that with like clients. I'm like, why? I like really jump on them quite quickly about it, and I'm like, but why though? Why do you think you need to do that? And if it's I actually quite enjoy it, go for it.
Good. Yeah.
Just go do it. But that could be anything in your life. Like sometimes, do you know what I mean? Like you can feel super motivated to go and do a Tesco's or Asda shop or whatever. Other times, that's like would be like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
Like it's when you're forcing yourself to do things that you don't want to do, or you don't necessarily see any initial value in, and like it's a very complicated topic in the fact of like, but there's so many different ways to look at it. Like,
yeah,
there's things obviously like you have to do. Okay, well, I'm going to attach that to slightly different things. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to like, I don't feel motivated to do this thing, but by me being in that position actually impacts other person.
Yes. Yeah.
So do you know what? I think I can suck that up and crack on with it. So this problem doesn't impact this person.
Yeah. I know. I agree with that. It's like if you can't do it for you, do it for your mum, do it for your partner, do it for your kids.
Oh, mate, there's so much stuff recently, like where it's been a struggle. It's been hard. I've been struggling. I've been feeling feelings I've never felt before.
Yeah.
Asking myself a lot of questions, and really like some of it fair enough. Other parts I could have probably given myself a bit more of a break. Putting myself through the ringer, and there's been times where I'm like, nah, I can't do that for myself. Can't do it. I actually can't do it.
Yeah.
Or what's the point in doing that for me? But it's actually okay. Who else is going to be impacted by this?
Yeah.
And the amount of things I've done purely like looked at my lock screen, and my lock screen is often me and my girlfriend. I look at that and I'm like, I need to do it for her.
Yeah. It's a good motivator to have that
absolutely.
Other people there. Yeah.
Or it's like, I know that so and so's like, I really like I've may have had like a challenge in, less so now because I feel in a pretty good place. But let's say over the last few months, it would have been, I really don't want to go in to train clients, but I'm like, these people are here to see me.
Yeah, they paid you, they rely on you, they want a result. I'm gonna give them it. Yeah,
yeah.
It's a sense of duty as well. Yeah,
it's that kind of like, yeah. Do you know that's the perfect way to put it? Is that duty? It's like, this is so much like, it's just not about me. Don't make it about you. Make it about the other people. Like, I'm doing this for my girlfriend, whatever, partner, mum, dad, cat, dog. Do you know what I mean? Like, even the other day, like, so my mum and dad have just got a puppy, little dash hound.
Oh.
Right, I'll show you. We've got lots of photos and videos.
Yeah, you can show me those.
Now we have a rocky relationship. Depends how much he wants to bite my toes. Is how friendly we are. If he just wants a little cuddle or a nice play or to run up and down the garden with me like a lunatic,
best friends,
pals, right? Not got a problem. If he wants to try and eat my big toe or like just generally be annoying, like tried to eat my dinner last night, which I wasn't particularly. It takes a lot for me to share food, right? And
Harvey doesn't share food.
Yeah, it isn't, and it's like, especially over ice cream, right? This might be one thing. I absolutely love ice cream. Like everyone, I believe everyone has like that one, 2 or 3 things
that they don't share.
That's just like,
for me, it's a T-bone steak, but
yeah. I would probably struggle. A burger is more my thing, but like, I can see like, you want, can I have a bit? We're
no, you can't. You want a bit of this, you fucking order one. Yeah,
we're getting over it, and it's taken a long time.
Yeah,
and I went and it was very early on in my relationship. And me and Bron went up to bed, and I'd got my ice cream, and it's my Halo top, and I'd like left the calories for it in the day, and I got into bed, and then she gets into bed as well with a spoon, and I'm like, "What are you doing? You
better have your own ice cream carton."
And she's like, "No, I'm going to just have some of yours. I don't want all of it. I just want some." And I'm like, "There you go."
Reluctant, tears rolling down your face.
And you know that like the tears streaming down your face, and like they're like shaking. I don't like this. I'm there just like in bed, like going white as a sheet, like.
Fucking.
And there you go. Just scraped a bit off the top of them.
Yeah.
Thank you. That stressful. Like again, stressful times.
I got stressed listening to that. Yeah.
Yeah,
do you remember the show? Is it the First Dates where they go on? Do you remember the one where she like orders for him so she can take food off his plate?
Hilarious.
Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. But that's really...
Mate, I'm gonna send it to you. She's like, he's gonna have the steak and he's gonna have it with chips, and he's like, the fuck? No, I wanted ribs. She's like, well, I don't like ribs, so you're gonna have this and I'm gonna have this, and she's like, I get what I want every time, and he's like, okay, no. Harvey's worst nightmare.
Yeah, like we did it the other day. So that in Worcester, there's a place called Bear Grylls, right?
Nice.
And it's like
I like the name. Yeah.
It's basically imagine Nando's. You get a lot more for your money. It's considerably cheaper, and it's run by like a guy. I think he owns a gym as well. So it's like really healthy, nutritious, like
quality stuff. Yeah,
like quality stuff. Like you basically you order like I say a butterfly chicken or a chicken wrap or whatever, and it's double what you'd get at Nando's.
Nice,
like it's class.
Yeah.
Really thoroughly enjoy it. So I was eating. I ordered one of them. I was getting the train up to my girlfriend, and she's going to meet me. And then I basically was like, "Well, I'm going to order it so it's at home when we get there." Basically,
smart move.
A bit before me, right? And I didn't even ask. But the best thing is it comes with, it's either, and I don't know why they do this, probably to make money, obviously. But it's either like on its own or with two sides.
Yeah, like that.
I don't want two sides. And I was like, oh, yes, I do. So I ordered like double, because their peri-peri chips are insane. Like, everyone's like, oh, Nando's peri-peri chip. No, Bear Grylls in Worcester. Like, I'm coming for a sponsorship deal, right?
Yeah, there's one heading your way, man.
There needs to be. There better be. And he's a big bloke. I'm not gonna threaten him. And basically, I just ordered double, and it was like sat on the doorstep with I ordered like a can of Coke, and I was like, well, actually, I need to order another can of Coke because it actually pushed me over the delivery limit and this. So I'm like, oh, you got me a drink as well? I'm like, yeah, definitely wasn't for the.
Wasn't planned, but you can have it. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So it's one of those ones. It's good. Yeah. I don't really know where we're going with that, but I wanted to tell you about my Bear Grylls.
We just talked about. We just went on a random tangent about food.
Yeah, it's about sharing food. But then that wasn't what we were talking about initially, was it?
Well, if we get Cinnabons, and we're gonna have to have one each. We can't just half one. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to have one each. He looked at me like, "Fucking half one? What are you talking about?" Yeah.
No comprende, por favor.
Yeah. Well, listen, mate. You mentioned something about that. You think people need to be more strategic, and I love that word because I genuinely believe no one is strategic. Well, I say no one. The vast majority of people are not strategic with their life, with their goals, with whatever it is they're doing. So explain your thoughts behind that one.
I think there's two parts to it. Like, there's having a bit of foresight, looking a little bit further into the future.
Yeah.
And being like, well, okay, like, there might not be what I want right now, but like, what's going to take the step there? Again, it's like, okay, I want to lose a stone.
Yeah.
Perfect. You've just got to lose 14 pounds. 14 I can never remember the stone. 14 pounds.
No idea.
14 pounds in a stone, right? So it's just a pound at a time. That's all you got to do. You might do a couple of pounds at a time. Brilliant. If not, let's just focus on doing one at a time.
Cool.
That's what it's. Instead of thinking big thing, think big thing. What's the first step?
Yeah.
It's the ideal world. And am I the world's most strategic person? No. But when I am, when you do make these decisions to be more strategic,
yeah,
to think more than the end of the day, end of the week, end of the week, end of the year. Like, a lot of like the learning and the stuff that I'm talking about here is like around like, it gets to the end of the year and it's from like the first week in December. It's some people just down tools completely.
Yeah. Wind down mode. Yeah. Christmas.
But there's a lot of natural like reflection. But obviously we'd reflect at the end of the year.
Yeah. What did I do? What did I not do? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of got to the end, and it took a lot of like going in the end, and I was I've not done anything this year. I've been rubbish, and kind of got really beat myself up about it. But I was like, I didn't think about how I would feel if I hadn't done it. So that's kind of where this idea's come from for me. Is like, okay, well, what would future me say if I have 3 Cinnabons Like,
That's 3,000 calories, bro.
What's tomorrow me going to say? What's end of the week? What's end of the month? End of the year? Like, think forward. Now, so, like, do you know what I mean? Like, if we had one today, right, for purely as an example, not saying that you absolutely should.
I'm sorry.
You did.
I messed up, man.
I did. And I was like, if he doesn't say anything by the end, that's going to be the closing gambit. Was like,
just to drop me in the shit at the
cinnamon bonds under this table, right? But
you'd be right punch in the face if I just pulled out a fucking box, wouldn't you? You'd be like, psych.
But yeah, like, is a drop in the ocean when you look at it in the course of a year. If I do that every day, that's quite a big splash that you're going to notice over the course of a year.
Agreed.
But again, is it if it's one of those ones? If you're going like, it's almost asking like, is the bang worth the buck? Like, if I pay, not always financially, metaphorically, if I pay this, is what I get back fair exchange? And am I going to look back on that and be like, oh, it was a brilliant transaction? Like, nights out. Do you know what I mean? You could be having an absolute scream in the moment. You get on the other side of it. Nah.
Yeah.
Awful.
Your bank balance, your headache, your liver.
Yeah, like, but
your friends don't like you anymore.
In the moment, so I'm not a going out guy. It's not really my bag. Like, I don't like going out for a few and being a little wavy.
Yeah.
This is about as far as I would go.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my.
Yeah, you don't get blackout drunk anymore.
No, it's
anymore.
It's not my thing. And again, that was sort of. You know, when you're 18, 19, it's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But as you get a bit older, I kind of realised like that. Do you know what? It's not for me.
Yeah.
I've kind of hit my end range.
Yeah, you don't want to do it anymore. Yeah.
Don't want to do it anymore. Like, it's not doing it for me. And again, being okay by turning around and saying that, like, because ultimately it's your decision. Like,
yeah, true.
Whatever. Yeah, like, that's not. But it's never been my big vice that I can't live without. Went out on New Year's and just got a little bit carried away. And the next morning I was like, I want to die.
Yeah, you do.
I was like, I'm so glad I bought late checkout there. And I was like, so I went to the bathroom, nearly cried. And I was like,
everyone's had a hangover like that, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's going,
bad.
yeah.
Even it wasn't even that crazy or that bad. And I was just like, oh, I don't like this, don't want to. And I was like so miserable all day, right? And I was like, this is rubbish. And like, my anniversary's New Year's Day, and it's like proper like Debbie Downer over here. And turned around, and I look back at now and I'm like, oh, actually it was a really good night out. Because I'm like out of that thing there. But it's also being like, okay, well, if I'm going to do that thing, well, what can I put in play? Like, if I'd been strategic in that moment, I probably would have gone and got myself some orange juice so I could have it in the morning.
Yeah.
Had a pint of water on the side and some paracetamol for when I got in, and actually thought about a little bit further down the line.
Rather than doing impulse.
What's tomorrow me going to say? What's next week me going to say about this thing? If I go and spend, do you know what I mean, £150 on a pair of trainers, and then I'm having to just eat, leftover baked beans,
ramen noodles for
pot noodle for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Is that really?
Is that how you want to live? Yeah.
But again, sometimes you need to make that mistake to realise, actually, that was really not. Worth it.
Well, the odd time is fine, like we say, but with strategy is very much like you mentioned before, like, I need to lose, what was it, a stone or something, like, just as an example goal. So people will always say, I need to lose a bit of weight, right? That's normally the first thing. I need to lose a bit of weight. Then it goes to, okay, let's take this one step further. How much weight? Let's put a number on it. And you've got to go, well, 1 to 2 stone. Let's say 2 stone, right? And you go, okay, 2 stone. So what's the strategy in place? What do you think you're going to do? Well, I thought I would just go to the gym. Okay, how many times are you going to go to the gym? 22 times a week.
That's where you can get, and I know in my life I've been really resistant to it, but it's getting down to the nitty gritty, the granular, the reverse engineering. It's really boring and it's not very sexy.
Yeah, strategy isn't sexy, but it gets the results.
Okay, well, what am I going to do here? Really stripping it back, getting very like granular details. Okay, well, this and this, this and this, this and this. Like, how do I get to that point?
Yeah.
Like I don't like personally like being like, well, my goal is to lose 2 stone because that's not what you want to do. Like,
and it's a boring goal as well. It's boring.
You might find that actually, like, you get what you might only go halfway and realize you've got everything that you need. That's actually the problem that I was trying to solve. Actually, the routine, the structure.
Yes.
How I feel. Like, yeah, I'm in a better place with how my clothes fit me. That might be the start, the first little bit.
Yeah.
But actually, like, you don't need to do that. I meet some people and I'm like, they're like, oh, I need to do X, Y, Z weight loss. And I'm like, we're going to have to be picking a leg. Which one should I go and get the hacksaw? Which one do you want?
Yeah.
Which one don't you want? And we're hacking it off to achieve that number. Like, we're going to have to lose a limb, at least one.
All Harvey's clients are amputees now.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's one of those ones. Like, I've said it to you before. I was like, right, you have to pick a leg, mate.
Yeah.
Like, if it's that, like, it's one of those ones. But you need to, again, it's getting less obsessed with the people who do well are more interested in the doing on a daily, weekly basis than the end
the
goal.
outcome. Yeah.
And again, it's the really boring thing, and you see the TikToks and the Instagram reels and the posts about it of, oh, the tortoise and the hare, the one that was more obsessed with the end goal. That, like, it's really dull.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, just it's the busy doing, and again, it's not sexy. There's no like clear way, and it is the answer on so many occasions to just be like, well, forget that bit.
Yeah.
You need to go a step further. You need to look at what is it that you actually like. It's the doing. Get busy doing. Make that the thing that you pursue, and then you forget about it.
Yeah. Well, it's the cliche saying it's like, it's the journey, not the destination. And it's like, it sounds cliche,
but the thing is that I know people resist it because it's cliche.
Yeah.
And
I think
it
it's
needs
bullshit.
to be put in a different way. But it like, and that's why I try and put stuff in these new frames. And there's something that I heard from Stephen Bartlett at IFS last year, and it was incredible what he said. And it was like about it's not about the picture, it's about the frame.
I like it.
Like, I could just stick up, if you drew me a picture of a duck, I don't know why it's a duck, we stuck it on the wall back here, it's probably a bit naff, we're just sticking it on with blue tack.
Especially if it's my picture.
But if we put a frame around it, very different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I agree.
You go into, like, I was going to say hotels. Apparently when you go into hotels and you see like pictures hung on the wall, and like they've got these big fancy frames, or you go into, I don't know, shops or whatever, and you see it and it's like all these frames.
Yeah.
You take it off without the frame. So whatever. Or you put a different frame on. If you took the Mona Lisa off the wall, took the frame off her, and put like a live, laugh, love with like dandelions all the way around the outside. Live, laugh, love. Like, that becomes a very, very different photo, a very different painting.
Agreed.
And it's not the most famous painting in the world. Imagine that was in there, and you go to the Louvre, and you're looking around, and you'd be like, it's that weird one with the dandelions around it.
Yeah, that's Da Vinci's famous Live, Laugh, Love painting. Yeah.
So there, and do you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be as iconic as it is, but it's the frame that goes around it, and you change the frame, it completely changes it.
Yeah, no, agreed, 100%.
So that's why I try and come up with these kind of different ways of looking at it. The simple ways that I like to be very like practical, very hands-on, and understand like it's think of it like you know when.
I put it in relatable terms for people.
Yeah. But it's almost like in a way that it kind of catches you a bit unaware, and you're like, oh, it isn't, or a little bit. I love a bit of alliteration though. I try to get that in there as well. Alliteration rhymes because apparently I'm a child at heart. Like, again, it just makes it like easier to remember, or if you hear it in a different way. I know that my mentor might have been trying to bang on saying something to me for months, but it takes it to someone else to relay it to you ever so slightly differently. I know even Luke's done, like, I know he said something in like on a call or at like a quarterly event that we go to, and I'm just like, oh, brilliant, like, oh, Luke said it like da-da. And that's probably the message that's trying to be nailed home for however many months.
Yeah.
But all it takes is that one spin, ever so slightly differently.
Yeah.
And I get it now.
Yeah. Well, here's an example for you. I love to say consistency is king. I think that sounds powerful, right? But he says it's easier to keep up than it is to catch up.
Oh,
and I'm like,
brilliant.
That's a great way to frame that. I do love
the way that's very side note. Sorry, listeners. I do love the way that like Luke does frame some things.
Yeah.
It's just that ever so slightly different thing, and maybe that's like an unintentional inspiration thing, of like, oh, I like subconsciously clearly gone like heard something that Luke said. I'm like, actually, oh no, the way that he said that was class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Going at it slightly differently, and I know that if I've changed like my language or terminology when I've explained something.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, like a load of people get it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a really interesting way of putting it. And I was like, it is the same information. I've just used a few different words.
Yeah.
Use the example. Like I always, like, especially in the gym, even I do it like mentally. Like in the past, I've really struggled to like activate my back. Now I don't. Firstly, we need to have words if you are cutting about in the gym with jeans on, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Get out.
There's always messages about that. And yeah, it's not on. And I think we can all sit here and unanimously agree, apart from the jean wearing weirdos.
They're normally covered in paint or some shit as well. Like that.
Yeah, so if
not even clean
you go into
jeans,
the gym,
man.
if you go into, I imagine that I've got a pair of jeans on. And I know they're not very cool anymore, but if I'm ever doing like a rowing motion, I want to put my elbow in my back pocket.
Okay.
So if I'm at any angle. And again, it's not like very literally perfect every single time, but that cue in my head, I get it now.
I like that. No, I get it. Yeah.
Perfectly. Amazing. Oh, got it.
Yeah. Well, another thing that you've mentioned in the past about the way we identify and the way we perceive things is you don't like people who label themselves perfectionists, right? And neither do I. Right? I believe you should be a completionist, not a perfectionist, because perfectionist for me is someone that just procrastinates. So, what's your take on that?
I completely agree. Like I know, especially in my life, like the reason I say a lot of things or like bang the drum of a lot of things is because it's something that I've struggled with, or there is a level of pain with for me from my past. I'm not saying like, oh my God, that's like the worst thing that ever happened to me. No, I'm like, well, I know I wasted a lot of time and energy and effort trying to do X thing. Mm-hmm. So like, don't do what I did. One of them is like perfectionism. Like I know the amount of time, energy wasted, ruined, like things that have just gone completely the wrong way because of like, oh, it has to be this way.
Yeah.
It has to be this singular, like exact thing. And when it's not, you're always left disappointed. Mm-hmm. And I literally had this conversation with someone yesterday, and I was like, don't be like you're only like how look how trying to be perfect and go absolutely 10 out of 10 on everything every single day has gone so far. I was like, it's not just, and I was like, it's always a bigger picture than just one singular thing. So you might just think it's just a gym thing, but actually like this mindset's probably going to be rippling out into the rest of your life.
Yeah. No, yeah, agreed.
Right, it's never like, I hate this. It's never just one singular thing. There is going to be such a plethora, and it ripples out so much wider than you actually initially think.
Yeah.
But it's this idea of like being consistently decent, like 7 out of 10. And it's always like when you watch sport, the amount of players who like they say that, oh yeah, he was never higher than a 7, but he was never lower than a 7, and it's 7 out of 10. Doing all the dirty work, 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10. And people make careers and lives out of just being 7 out of 10, which that's not a bad thing.
No.
Like it goes back to it's not very exciting. It's a bit boring. And it's so it's easier said than done than trying to be that 7. But like people that are going to listen to this, the sort of people who are going to be trying to not necessarily be a perfectionist, but like what you got to remember is that comes back down to one thing. You're wanting more in whatever it might be. You might want to be the best. I don't know. And I do not know why this is the first thing coming to my head. You might want to be the best lash tech in the world. You might want to be do absolutely perfect lashes every single time. Or you might be a fireman. And that's only because there's a fire book down there. And it just caught my eye. I'm like, fireman? Huh, let's go with that one. And do absolutely 10 out of 10 on every single task.
Yeah.
But expecting that of yourself will always lead to disappointment.
It's an impossible standard.
But then it's also there's having a standard, but realistically, is that a standard that's going to serve you? Is absolute perfection the standard that you can hold yourself to every single day, even on the day where you can't be asked, even on the day that everything just doesn't go right, you're a little bit poorly and you're just soldiering through.
Yeah, well, I would say if you've got 70% left in the tank, use 100% of that 70%.
Yeah,
and just do what you can where you are with what you've got. Because,
or even just picking times where actually do you know what, I can push today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can push this week. I've got a quiet week. Okay, well I'm gonna pull resources on thing X.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need to, or okay, well I need to pull back this week because I've got this thing on, that thing on, or I know it's particularly big week at work. Okay, cool, I'm going to pull back to leave something in the tank, but I'm still going to do thing.
Yeah,
something's better than nothing. Again, it's all these really cliche phrases,
but they're cliche for a reason
because they work.
Yeah,
and it's like when doctors say oh, make sure you get outside and go for a walk for your mental health. Dull, boring, but it works.
Yeah.
All these smart people, if they're saying it, no matter whatever your opinion is, there has to be a level of truth in it, surely.
Yeah.
So give it a go. People aren't going to bang that drum. That would have kind of the whole healthy living or whatever. You got to think that was probably really pushed to the front. And again, Jamie Oliver, healthy school dinners.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably early 2000s.
Yeah, and he banned turkey twizzlers.
Don't get the hype. Don't get the hype.
Anyone. Bitch.
Don't get that hype. Do not get that hype, right? But yeah, you go back to that. People have been banging that drum, and let's say that was over. That could have been over 20 years ago.
It's probably about 15, 16, something like that. You're probably right. Yeah,
it's about 20. Do you think 2004 is 20 years ago?
Fuck.
Yeah? Yeah.
My life's
2004 was
my
20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So it had to be about then.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it was more than that. Maybe it's 21, 22, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not the thing that matters. The thing that does matter is if it was all rubbish and just nonsense, do you not think that little fad, that little trend would have kind of fallen through now?
Yeah, exactly. It would have been forgotten about, water under the bridge.
All the other fads, trends, not just in fitness, but again, let's
worldwide, yeah.
Let's look wider than that. Do you remember when the thing to have was an iPod Touch? Now iPods don't exist.
Mate, I've still got mine in the car.
I think they're class. Just think,
what are you trying to say, bro?
But
I'm outdated. What are you talking about?
Even the little ones, with the little spinny thing on the middle.
Yeah, nanos.
Yeah, people don't have them anymore. It's just not a thing.
Mate, there's one literally over there. You can't see it, but
of course there is in this office.
Yeah, we have everything in this office. Yeah,
back about 20 years, so technically it's about 2003.
Dude, there's an arcade cabinet right there as well. Yeah, we're retro in this.
Not only have I gone however many hours up north, I've also regressed
time
about
travel
25 years. Yeah, and the year was 1998. And
welcome back to the 90s, bro.
Yeah, but which is really cool. I love the quirkiness of it. But again, it's these sort of things would have worn off.
Yeah.
If it was complete nonsense, it would have worn off.
Here's the thing, though. It's also effort as well. The amount of effort it takes it's simple, but it's not easy as well, I like to say, right? So getting out every day, getting 10,000 steps, okay, it's a little bit of a challenge. Drinking, you've probably seen me supping this.
I'm trying to not punch the mic.
This massive water bottle. Yeah.
I know how annoying it is.
Yeah, my massive 2-liter water bottle that I drink 2.2 liters, and I finish at least
gallons,
1.5 of those a day, and it's just. At first, it's really hard, and yes, you're gonna piss a lot, you're gonna go to the toilet a lot, but if you can get it in, you feel so much better. But it's what kind of life do you want? Do you want a life where you are miserable by the end because you didn't put any effort in? You've got all these illnesses, you feel and look like crap because you couldn't get outside or you couldn't eat some fruit or drink some water. It's like, do the hard stuff now for an easier life later. That's my philosophy on it anyway.
But I think all it takes is that there has to be a point where, and you almost like need to feel the, like touch this hot stove to kind of realize why we do it or why we behave in a certain way. So like, again, I got to the end of last year and it took a lot of journaling, changes in my perception, lots of work on my mindset and reviewing and actually kind of going back, and I'm like, oh, well, I didn't achieve anything this year. I barely ticked off any of my goals. All of this kind of things. I haven't grown. I haven't had the impact that I wanted to, and it just took a moment. It actually probably took about a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
and I'd like Debbie down. Oh, I'm so like down in the mumps about this.
Yeah.
But it took okay. Well, I've had a lot of amazing firsts though. A lot of like little first times. That sounds dodgy. It's not that first time, but like I had a lot of like firsts. A lot of first. Oh, first time I did this. The first time I did that. The first like big proper holiday that I'd had, and had gone off and I'd experienced Dubai, the most fucking amazing place in the world, and like that's a story within it. Like that's a kind of like thing that within itself. I've done this. I've tried that. I've tried this. I've tried that bit. I've had this like amazing dining experience. I've gone here. Or I've done this qualification which has opened a door, and or this or that. Like there's so many different things that like you look at, and it takes that different perception. And again, like I believe there's like, especially in the personal development industry, and it's kind of just from more experience, is sometimes there's like pretty growth, and it's like, yeah, amazing. But there are days where it is like you're in the
trenches,
in the trenches, and like the hook of Stan, the Eminem song, he's like playing in the background, and no matter how like much you try to distract yourself, it's like tears, da 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 da, and again, it just follows you right. And there are days like that where it does happen, but you need that. You need like the dirty, unpretty thing. Like sometimes it isn't pretty. It isn't sunshines and rainbows. And you can do this, like Tony Robbins with his dustbin lid hands telling you that you can do it. Or these like, and you know what? There is some really, really positive stuff that I see on social media, like some really positive messages. Like it's almost like, oh, why didn't I say it like that? But there is also like, and it's something that I talk about a lot. It's like sometimes it's going to be very pretty. Sometimes it's going to be, I really do not want to do this, but I've got myself here now. And okay, well, I'm going to promise myself that I do X chunk. And if that's it, that's it.
Yeah, like to take for example me doing this podcast. A
momentum builder, yeah.
Yeah, I mean doing this, I mean when I started I had a fear of like, what if I don't get, what if I run out of guests is a big one. What if I mess up everything I'm going to say? What if I can't find the right questions? All these like, what if I can't get it perfect like Bartlett or Rogan or whoever, right? Yeah, and it's like, I interviewed my best friend for my first real episode. I interviewed Luke as like a taster thing, but I still put them out. But I interviewed one of my best friends for like my first episode just to give it a trial, and that was just, it wasn't.
It a go.
Yeah,
it's like, on the water. Give yourself a bit of permission, like permission to kind of balls it up and like prove it. If it doesn't work, you're gonna die. You're gonna be okay.
And you know what's funny? If I mess this up in a year's time, no one will remember that I messed it up.
Yeah,
that's the best part of it.
Yeah, like in this sort of case, like episode 1 podcasting, for example, like again, isn't it like you're in the top 3% if you get to 20 episodes?
Oh, I'm in the top 3%, baby. Let's go. Yeah, and
then after that, it's if you get to 100, you're like not in like the top 93% of that, or something like that, or 97% of that. Like it's such a small total, but like you've had some amazing guests on, like particularly in my world, Paul, Leslie. So you said that you've spoken to Luke, Harry.
I had Sam Gibson.
Sam was one of my favourite one of yours.
Sam's episode is up there. I don't like to give out ratings, but his is quite highly rated, and I'm just like, I listened to it back and I was like, that blew my mind.
Yeah, I love Sam. Class. Absolutely amazing podcast that was. Like,
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
one of my friends. But again, you got to think like that was a year ago.
Yeah.
Back it isn't.
It actually was as well, more or less a year ago. I think it did.
I remember. Yeah, I remember it being. I remember seeing it about a year ago, like January, February.
Does that mean me and you've talked about this coming on the podcast for like over?
Probably. I probably would have messaged about Sam's.
Damn, dude, I'm sorry. It took so long to get you on.
I haven't been up to Shields, so that's not.
Oh well, okay.
As much as on you as me.
I'll blame Harvey for this. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Like, but then you need to give yourself your evidence, and again, it's very much like I do love the Hormozy explanation for it in regards to like in confidence, self-belief. It is building that undeniable stack of proof that you are X.
Yeah.
And you might not, like, the exciting bit is you don't have to believe that you're X at the start. But I'm like, oh, well, okay, a person who is X would do Y.
Yeah.
Well, if I do Y, okay, and keep doing a bit of Y and a bit of Y and a bit of Y and a bit of Y, do you think I might see a little bit of like between me now and the kind of who I want to be? But it just takes a little bit of evidence, a few steps in the right direction, and not to kind of. I know it sounds really kind of like belittling, but it's just don't bottle it. Just keep going.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Drop it. If you drop the ball, pick it back up again.
It's like, don't sugarcoat it. Just keep going. Keep pushing forward.
Give it a try. Like, you're only ever doing yourself a disservice. And like, think about like one thing I love is like, okay, what's this cost in the past? Look back and be like, okay, what have you missed out on? What have you missed out on by not doing this sort of thing? Or is there a situation which mirrors a similar sort of thing?
Yeah.
Where you don't think you can? Give it a go. Let go of that idea. Let go of that notion. Let go of it. It has to be this way.
Yeah.
Relationships have to be this way. I am X, so everything is this. What if it wasn't? What if it wasn't?
What if you just did things a little bit differently?
Yeah. What if you dance that slightly different dance?
Yeah.
What if instead of one day, you know, like, and it's something I was actually thinking about a lot when I did I had to do a speed awareness course. Naughty. Tut. Thank you.
That's what you get for speeding into Weatherby, bro. That's what you get.
Listen in Weatherby. It's actually coming out of Gloucester Services, which very highly rated services stations, guys. If you're ever down M5, north or southbound, mate, beautiful. I probably prefer northbound. No. Yeah, so mate, it's looking at these sort of things and just being like, okay, well, like, what can I do here? Like, and giving it that time and that opportunity and just doing it slightly differently. And one thing that we were saying a lot about on this speed awareness course was like a lot of speeding, for example, and this is really rogue reference, a lot of speeding is done from just going in the usual patterns. It's always on like driving home on the same road from work and then you get clocked on a camera. Like if you drive down the same stretch of road and you know where like the standard one is, but all it takes is that one where it's the van that they move about. Yeah, it's that one that always catches you out, isn't it? Or whatever. Like, you need to you don't even need to, but like what they said is one thing that is really effective is drive home in different routes, so you have to stay alert. And I'm not saying it has to be absolute high alerts, like, oh my god, I'm going to go for this really rogue way home. But again, like, I'm sure today, like, there's a few different routes that you can take to get home.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to take try and go a different way to get home, to get back to the guest house from here, because I don't really know it that well. I don't know Shields that well.
Yeah, and it's in the dark too now.
If I'm going to drive about, like, I'm going to probably pay, in this case, a little bit safe with that. But in terms of, going, like driving to and from work or driving around town. Oh, well, I'm going to go to Asda or Tesco's or whatever. Okay, brilliant. Why don't I go this way today? Yeah. Instead of coming out this exit, why don't I go out of that exit? Just so your brain has to ever so slightly. Instead of turning going left down the street, why don't we go right down the street? And okay, like,
it just clicks your brain into more of a gear, doesn't it? Yeah.
You have to pay that a little bit more attention. And I was thinking about that. This sort of thing of like, just try a slightly different action, a slightly different decision. If you go out for food, if you go to Nando's, for example, instead of ordering the same thing over, just try it. like that's a pretty like non-consequential thing to go wrong, but you might find something that you really, really like.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It just makes a little bit of difference,
like,
keeps it a bit
even
more
if you go
less
to Nando's,
boring.
mate, like it's one of those things where it's like that's a mistake, and if you really don't like it, it only costs you 15 quid. Like,
it's not earth shattering.
It's not earth shattering. Bit of a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, I'm still gonna live. Still got all my teeth.
Yeah.
Everything's still attached. Just try that. But you might find, oh, actually, like I really want to try the
vegan burger.
Yeah. Or I'm gonna have a pita instead of a burger, or I'm gonna have this thing instead of that thing. Like, just try it.
You never know what you're gonna like.
You don't know what you don't know. Give it a go.
But the Nando's analogy counts for life as well. Try new things. You don't know what you're gonna like and what you're not. Like,
and what try it out. Like I'm in this kind of like pursuit of like I want a new hobby. I want like a little thing to learn, and I've kind of got one like lined up. I'm learning, like I'm getting into rugby.
Nice.
So I'm getting into rugby.
You've got broad shoulders.
I'm not going to start playing yet because my knees are currently made out of paper mache. But then I was like, okay, well, what about... So at Christmas, I was talking to my girlfriend's auntie, who is a diehard pickleball fan.
Cool.
Right? And she plays it, and it's on a Monday night between like 7 and 9. And like my girlfriend's dad's tried it. It's all these different little things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why don't I give it a go?
Yeah.
Why don't I... Yes,
So there's a book next to you, actually. You can see in that cabinet. It's called Fuck It. Right?
Yeah.
Highly recommend anyone read that book series because it's
literally actually heard of that.
Yeah, it's literally about just taking the mentality of, rather than saying fuck it, why bother, saying fuck it, I'm actually going to do this. Why not? It's a great mentality. It's a great mentality. But one of the things I'm going to round off our episode today, mate, with a story from Les Brown. You know Les Brown?
Not off the top of my head, but
amazing speaker, right? But he says, imagine on your deathbed, rather than being surrounded by friends, family, loved ones, people you've impacted over your life, you're surrounded instead by the ghosts of all the things and opportunities that you let pass by, all the regrets of life. Imagine seeing all that around your deathbed because you didn't try that new order at Nando's, you didn't try that new hobby, you didn't try that new relationship, that new job, whatever. You played it too safe, and now it's too late.
That's class. Which I think that's such like a full stop.
That's a mic drop moment. Yeah, 100%, man. But listen, man, where can people find your content? Where can people follow you and get more information on what you do?
I'll be honest, mate, the best place to follow me, to find me, is Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm on Facebook and TikTok as well. But again, mainly an Instagram guy.
Are you just at Harvey Holt?
At Harvey Holt, yeah.
Literally
just sort my name, spell, just spell my name. Yeah, literally, it is. Yeah, just search my name.
Yeah.
There's nothing particularly untoward in there, or I'm sure Adam will.
It's going to be at the bottom of the screen for anyone watching as well. It's going to be in the
description, tagged if it's a reel or a TikTok or whatever.
100%, man. You're getting collab requests out the arse here.
Cross-pollination.
Yeah, man. We're going to grow together. That's the best way. That's what I love about these podcasts is you get to grow together. You meet so many interesting people, and there's no need for me to not allow other people to grow at the same time. Do you know what I mean? There's some people are like, you can't go on this other podcast. You can't do this. I'm like, take this file, do it as you will. You know what I mean? Just grow as much as you want.
Same with Harry. Same with I've done podcasts with Sam before. Like, and again, it's getting that like thing. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, this is such great. Like, even if it is just purely like a 20-second clip of something good that we say.
Yeah. I might just take a 10-minute clip of all the times we talked about the services and just put Harvey Holt's favourite services stations. Yeah.
Do you know what? God, I might start my own podcast, right? And just call it Service Chat and be like, well, I went to Weatherby today, guys. Do
you know what, mate? If you took a GoPro around service stations and put it on YouTube as a channel, people would watch that and people would love it. I would watch that.
Do you know what? The other weird one on YouTube I like, and it's first class reviews of like airlines.
Okay.
I know, it's really weird. It's really... Because it's like, you've never earned this much money, but that's what this seat costs. And I was like, oh, it's $100,000 seat. Brill, get me in there. And I'm like, there's, a bottle of water underneath there. And, okay, well, they go bring it out. And, you pay. And they come out and they keep bringing you this food. And like, I liked that. So they go and get you I like
Even
this little
more, yeah.
chocolate that you've got, so they go and get you 10 of them. Like, it's just a world that it lives. Like, obviously, like, there's a YouTube channel about everything. And
Yeah,
everyone now.
I haven't seen a
But
service
it's like
station one. You could be the first.
There probably is, though, isn't there?
But you could
imagine
you could be better.
Guys, I've just been to Michael's Wood in Gloucestershire. Not for me. Just do you know what?
Review service stations.
Review service station. Like, great. I actually get very hent up about service stations. So as you can tell, it's clearly a passion of mine. It's sometimes you look at people's lives and you're like, oh, like I'm really like not jealous, but I'm like, I look up to them and they've got a great I really look up to them, like that passion. Yeah, it's great. And I get annoyed at myself that like I get so I was gonna say impoverished. That's not the right word at all. But I get so like over service stations, and I've been driving before, and it's like, oh, I need a wee. I'm like, can you hold it 20 minutes? I don't want to go here. There's only one on one side. I don't like that. It has to be a northbound and a southbound or whatever. Yeah. So there we go.
You could see this.
Do you know what?
You know what I mean?
Nice
You could do it.
There was actually a comma. Service station chat. Full stop.
Yeah, it went from imagine being dead to what's your favourite service station? Oh, then I know.
Yeah, all right, Gloucester. Yeah, like so. Yeah, if you ever want a service reco.
Yeah, that's why people are going to be DMing you now. They're going to be like, what services do you recommend? I don't want to lose weight or I'll learn about my mindset, but I want to know what the best service station is, yeah.
I'll have to say from junction 25 to junction 7, 6 on the M5, I am up there.
Knowledgeable yeah.
So knowledgeable. Like, it's great, real great chat here, guys. Yeah, so that's what I would recommend. Yeah.
Nice, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I know it was a hell of a drive up, and I know you're probably tired.
I think I've hit that tired wall now.
Yeah, you have. Fantastic, mate. Well, listen, I'll let you go. I'll get started. But thank you very much for listening, guys. And as always, follow Harvey on all the social media channels. Follow everything he does. He's an amazing dude. We've talked for well over a year now, and I'm happy that we finally got to do this, mate. But
thank you so much.
As always, guys, leave us the 5-star review, please. No 4 stars. It takes 1 second of your day to make mine. So until the next episode, guys, I will see you very soon. Take care.